Hi, it's Christine again, and I'm here to help you with some simplifying algebra for equations. Excuse me. So one thing that you want to always remember, and it gets people really frustrated, but they're really quite easy because any single time you see let me get this, equation with a fraction in algebra or in a textbook or on a test, they always, 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 without exception, want you to simplify it. So now that we know that that's always what they're going to be looking for, you can be looking for tricks and ways to see how to make that easier. Now, in the real world, if you were ever doing these, you're not always going to be able to simplify. But in a textbook, homework assignment, or a testing situation, you will. So remember that a fraction is nothing but a division problem nobody wanted to solve. So we always want to make it easier for us. For example, if we go back to just basic fractions, if I told you that you can have 12/36 of a pizza, it's really hard for our brains to figure that out. You might be able to do that if you know your multiplication tables really well, but it certainly is easier for us to know that it's 1/3, and these are the same things. So remember, mathematicians are very lazy. We always want to do things the simplest way possible. So anyway, the first thing we're going to want to do here is factor. Now I'm always going to factor whichever one I see first, because I know there's going to be things to factor out. I like this 12 and 4 because I know that a 4 can come out of both ones. So if we divide each by 4, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and we get the x. Now this is the trick, okay? We're always going to want to throw something like this at you. 4 divided by 4 is 1. We want to make sure that that placeholder is there because this is certainly different than that. If we distributed everything out, this would get us back to the 12x minus 4. This would just get us back to the 12x. So I'm going to delete that so you don't get confused. Now, I'm going to want this. Whoops, forgot to put that back in. We know we either have to have a 4 or a 3x minus 1 to factor out. We can factor out a 4 here. Look at that. That's going to factor that out. And then that's going to be left with 9x plus 1. Okay? So we can factor out a 4. And now we can, remember when things are multiplied, and this means that they're multiplied. When things are multiplied, it's like they're a casual boyfriend or girlfriend, where if you know somebody's maybe once in a while talks to somebody, you like that girl or that boy, you can still talk to them. You can maybe make them your girlfriend or boyfriend or see. You're not breaking up a couple. That's what happens with multiplication and division. So because these are multiplied, we can simplify those. Now that leaves us with 3x minus 1 and 9x plus 1. Now, a lot of people are going to want to simplify those and get rid of them, but you can't. Like division and multiplication, they're casual friends. You're not breaking anything up. But when things are combined with a plus or a minus, it's like they're married or they're long-term boyfriend and girlfriend. You're not going to go in and try to break those people up. So you can't break this up without pulling or factoring something out to make it into a multiplication and division problem. And because of that, this is your final answer. And it's a little bit easier to do. Let's try another one that's a little bit harder. Okay, we're going to have to do our full factor here. Okay, whenever we see our x squared, we know that we're going to put in our 2 parentheses. Now remember, with factoring, we're going to see x squared, 2 parentheses. We're going to look to this one. It says it's a minus, so that means one's going to be a plus and a minus. The number that's furthest from 0, in this case, is going to be a plus sign. So we're going to first start to factor this. It's x and x because we don't have any numbers in front. Then with the 12, I'm going to go 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And then I know if these are going in numeric order, and as soon as I get to this 4, we have everyone. So because these are subtracted, we have we want the 4 here and the 3 here because 4 minus 3 gives us our 1. And remember that there is, when there's not a number in front, there's a 1 in front, but we're too lazy to write it. Okay? So let me go back to that green. Okay, x squared without a number in front, just put the parentheses and our x's. We look here, then minus says one's going to be a plus and one's going to be a minus. And we look here and the positive 1 is going to be higher. So let's get our factors for 30. 1 and 30, 2 goes into it, 2 and 15, 3 and 10, 4 doesn't, 5 and 6, and then 6, we know we have them all. So what two of these numbers, when we subtract them, get us a positive 7? And that's going to be our 3 and our 10. And looky-loo, these two match up. Because they're multiplied, they're going to simplify to 1. And when we multiply by 1, that's all we have. So we are left with x plus 4 and x plus 10. I'm going to do another one just so you can see, because this is one of a really important one. And one that will pop up a lot on the SAT, as well as your algebra exams. There's nothing we can do up here, but we can do something with this. This is called our difference of squares. This is a perfect square minus another perfect square. Perfect. It doesn't work with addition, but it does work when there's subtraction. When we have that, we know that we have to take the square of this, x and x, the square of that, the square root, and then one's going to be a plus and one's going to be a minus. And then we can just bring that over. We subtract those out, or not subtract, we get rid of those. But what do we do with the top? We have to have 1 as a placeholder. So our equation is 1 over x plus 2. And that's it. I hope this helped a little bit. Please watch it. Also, if you are having trouble, please let me know and I can explain it in a different way or with some more examples. Thanks a lot and have a great day.